Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com. Here to do a combination of video blog and a review. Maybe I should just do the review first, even though it's a little bit, well, I'm still kind of going through it and learning, like, getting a full assessment. But it's about a new album that came out in September that I've notes, reviews talked about, and a couple of people talked about. It's from his name is Michael Mills. He's also known as Toehider. He's been doing music for like 20 years, I guess. He's from Australia, I think. And I first saw the name Toehider, heard the name, when that drummer guy, now known as Heavy Debriefings, did an interview with him. I think it was 3, 4, 5 years ago, something like that. And he had been on at least one or more of the Ariane records. He's got like a 5 or 6 vocal octave range or something. But I mean, the truth is, I felt like his name was popping up a little bit over the last few years. I mean, it goes back a ways, a while back, further than the last few years, like whatever it's been. I looked at his discography on Rate Your Music, and his first album came out. He's got a lot of music, is the point. Like, yeah, his Bandcamp even has many albums. Yeah, like, good lord, the guy's prolific. Let's see here. I need to set this up and start doing videos with my. Well, I don't know if I'd do that, but he has a new album that came out in September. It's one song and it's 47 minutes. I posted on Facebook and Twitter about it. Yeah, it's not 2001, but 2011. It might be. His first album listed, Toehider, came out in 2011. According to Rate Your Music, he had an EP that came out in 2008, the self-titled. So it's not been 20 years. It's been, 14 years or something like that. Anyway, it's a name that kind of, his style, felt like it was sort of a lot of the prog, modern prog kind of aesthetic. And he's a multi-instrumentalist and everything like that. And, yeah, he's from Melbourne, Australia. So I saw notes, reviews, and I heard mention of this before. His new album that came out, that's the one track, 47 minutes. It's called I Have Little to No Memory. I wish this wasn't better. I couldn't do it using the camera instead of the computer. I have little to no memory of these memories. It kind of intrigued me, and notes, reviews is one of those like sort of emphatic, I love this with my whole heart. This is like a, just run to hear this record. And so I kind of just like, he got me curious enough. And, yeah, the gent thing is in his style a little bit. And like the Devin Townsend thing, which I have my reservations about Devin Townsend. Devin Townsend has tons of music. I liked Ocean Machine. I liked Earth Day from Terria. That's the extent of what I really historically like from Devin. Although I thought he was really entertaining live a couple times I saw him. But unfortunately, my friend Josh with Heavy Debriefings, it's his guy. He looks at Devin Townsend the same way I look at Kevin Gilbert, and he's like super prolific. But I mean, I don't. The comparison, Devin Townsend is one of many comparisons, I guess, with this gentleman. But he's a multi-instrumentalist, and this thing he spent a couple of years working on, and it's very eclectic. There's a lot of really technical musicianship. There's many types of styles in it. After listening to it enough times now, like 5 or 6 times over the last few weeks, I think it kind of reminds me a little bit of what I like about Between the Barrier and Me when I enjoy their music, is that in a lot of technical death metal and there's moments in their music that I really enjoy, and so there's other parts that kind of add to the rest of the music, the songs, that just kind of, they're fine with it. They don't hurt it that much. The problem Between the Barrier and Me of late, especially, is just the sections go on too long, and there's not enough of those. But initially, that was kind of my feeling, like, oh, I love that part. I can't wait. I look forward to that part, and with this album, this song, this whatever composition, it's a sci-fi composition. He actually chimed in on, I think it was Notes Reviews review, and he kind of gave. I mean, most reviews described it, the concept. Well, I mean, all right, let's just go to the band. I think it was on the Bandcamp, actually. That may have been where I first saw it. I don't want to close any windows. Here it is. There's a description of, at the bottom, that gave... It took me about 3 years to write and record it. It really came out great. It sounds like a sonic journey through the last 50 years or so. 50 or so years of prog rock and metal. Thematically, it's a comment on remembering. Where are our memories now? Do we even need to remember that much, or are we trying to remember too much? Or are we better off forgetting? Are these memories even mine? The whole thing tells the story of a man. Yeah, okay. The whole thing tells the story of a man, a woman, a huge bird, a dumb alien, and two boats that get modded to facilitate an outer space confrontation. Yeah. There's two different endings, one on the CD, the alternate ending on vinyl. There's also an amazing animated video for a portion of the song based on Salty's characters animated by Eleanor Evans and Giovanni Aguilar. Came out September 9th of 2022. And looks like the CD, Gatefold, sold out. There's another version of the compact disc, though, that's $45. And then the vinyl is $40. And, you know, I'm thinking I want to buy this, but I'm not sure. I mean, I never even bought the Giant Sky record. And how much, if it's coming out from Australia, I don't know. But the thing I'll say is that this... See, I don't know if that was the full story that I saw on the YouTube review that Notes Reviews did. Because Toehider, actually, the guy, Michael Mills, he actually chimed in. It like, sometimes it's like with Between the Buried and Me, we'll throw like a ragtime section or like a bluegrass section in with, you know, some metalcore or very technical. It just kind of almost... Not arbitrarily, but it doesn't necessarily flow as well as you like, but over time I've found it sometimes doesn't matter. And I guess with this album I kind of feel the same way. The transitions have been made to work pretty well. There's one section that's like doom metal that goes on for like, it's like around the like 10, 11, 12, it's like the 12-minute mark I think it is, or 12 and a half minutes. It goes on for... It's like 2 minutes. I'm not much for doom metal, and I don't hate it. It's probably my least favorite part of the whole record, although it's grown on me a little bit. But there's one section that's very Jethro Tull-like, sounds like a Passion Play, or more like Thick as a Brick. One section that reminds me of Jimi Hendrix's Third Storm from the Sun. It's like a major key symphonic version of that. And there's some Queen parts, the vocal parts, and there's some really catchy parts. The other thing is on Spotify, because he had that video, they have the second, like, if I go to the actual album, they have the one part isolated, that's the one they did the video for. Is it Sally or whatever? Is it Sally? I'm looking for the actual album. They don't list it. They list it as a single, but, you know, it's an album to me because it's 47 minutes. I mean, you know, they didn't even distinguish between the two of them. I thought there was two. I could be wrong. Maybe it was on Rate Your Music. I can't remember. There was two tracks. It was like a separate isolated track that was released as the video for Sally or whatever. It's reprised. Maybe it was on... They reprised the melody. I mean, a lot of it's like Gentle Giant or like a Kevin Gilbert thing or fast vocal harmonies in different voices. And again, he has a very varied range. At points he sounds like Daniel Gildenlow a little bit. Some of these kind of prog, neo-prog singers, prog metal singers over the last couple decades, they have that sort of accent to their vocals. A lot of Australian bands have that, and it just doesn't go that far for me. But I think the music on this is so good, and he's still, like, his voice has grown on me to a point, and I just don't really care that. I'm like, yeah, the vocal line is still pretty good. I'm just not really caring his, like, the tone and his, whatever you want to call it, vibrato, different things with his voice bugging me before. Doesn't really bug me anymore. He's starting to grow on me a fair amount. He does a cover of Wuthering Heights by Kate Bush, which it's almost like a direct copy in some ways, but it also sounds like 80s, very 80s-ish. I contend that the best cover I've ever heard, I haven't heard that many covers of that song, is Andre Matos' is from Angra. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, sum it up more. I mean, I'm still sort of taking it in to an extent. It is 47 minutes, so it's a little challenging to listen to repeatedly because you have to have that much time, or you're listening to it in sections. I probably only listened to the whole thing start to finish maybe once or twice. I always have had to pause for something, but yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of variety. There's different kinds of styles. Some of it's pretty technical. There is a little bit of gent, which I'm not also crazy about, but it doesn't seem to be too bad. And I think that reprises melodies, the concept of it, which is kind of interesting to take in more and try to sort of understand and follow along with the story. So yeah, I mean, thumbs up on this Toehider release. What did you think of it? Have you listened to it? Yeah. By the way, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Appreciate that. This is kind of a late, somewhat of a late item for the albums of the year race or whatever, because I didn't really bother with it or knew it was coming out in September. But I do feel like now, after listening to this more, I'm going to still listen to it more. I want to try to check out more of his music. But this might be his most ambitious thing, though. So, yeah, so if you heard this, it's a mouthful, kind of. IHLTNMOTM. IHLTNMOTM. I have little to no memory of these memories. I mean, the whole idea of memory is losing memory, metaphysics, reincarnation, or just remembering things from your past. I have supposedly an eidetic memory, although probably it comes and goes, but there's weird things I can remember about, like what I ate or what certain details from way back somehow. But I have some family members that kind of have a similar thing. At the same time, there's other things I can't remember. I'm talking on here in YouTube and everything, and the details that I should know. My wife, when I first met her, said I had media Tourette syndrome because certain things always jog certain other references in my head, kind of like in Psych or Fletch or, the pop culture kind of stuff. So moving on to, I wanted to sort of add a little extra part to the blog, the video blog entry for today. It's been a week of video blog entries. Some news that came out. We knew about this dredg, which is the Dredg Vault. They've been working on for many years. They've been working on an album, or albums, potentially, but also all this archive history, recordings, photos, that kind of thing. So this week they were going to make an announcement on Friday about what's going to happen regarding the vault, and so they did today. It says the Dredg Vault, a bold, very limited collection of previously unreleased and recently sourced works of art, music, video, and relics spanning 28 years' time. The centerpiece is a 340-page hardcover book, 10 by 13. Signed, numbered, and personalized, encapsulating the entire career of the band from childhood to today. Other articles and relics include re-releases of early music, unreleased documentaries, studio footage, conceptual letters. I wonder if someone's going to come as a download, but conceptual letters, maps, lyric books, as well as never-released music. Each vault is delivered in a custom artwork printed box, personalizing the experience from the moment it arrives. All proceeds go towards funding the new Dredg album, LP number 6. And supposedly they're going to be going on sale, I think it's Thursday, December 1st, so it's a couple weeks from now. As a massive Dredg fan, this is obviously a really big deal, and I wonder about something with the way they're saying, it's Thursday, they're saying about that unreleased music, some of the stuff that's been shared through like traversing a lot of the fan bases, the fan circles. Like I have a lot of that stuff. I've listened to a lot of those unreleased songs. Some of the songs from the Pariah period especially, which a lot of fans like myself have a lot of favorites where they heard live or they were demoed. They just didn't make it onto the Pariah record. Like one or two of them ended up on Chuckles, but that was it. If that stuff's going to show up there as opposed to an actual proper album or B-sides or it's an archive, but this is part of this whole book vault package thing. I also wonder if that book will kind of resemble like Kevin Gilbert's Thud, 20th anniversary, and the thing that's going to be coming out with the multi-disc, Shaming of the Truth, something like that. It's going to be kind of a neat deal. The price tag, can imagine, might be a little steep, but it's been a long time. I mean, I just pre-ordered the LCLO 20th anniversary vinyl, but Dredg is a favorite of mine, and they don't have that much overall content, so this is a kind of a big deal. So, and the fact it's going toward LP number 6, the one they've been working on for a few years, from reports and all the interviews and stuff like that. So that's a big deal. It's in a couple weeks, and I'll probably be talking more about that, of course, and when I get it and stuff. Who knows when it's going to arrive. The LCLO vinyl, like the Leitmotif anniversary, just arrived a couple months ago. The LCLO one, probably sometime next summer. So if we pre-order it now, although they've been working on this, I wonder if it wouldn't be showing up probably sometime until the spring. But who knows? Maybe it'll be sooner. I don't think it's going to be available for the holidays. But so the other item that showed up, there was a post by the Kevin Gilbert estate the other day. It said there was a box of, it said, vinyl lovers, keep it posted here, stay tuned. And I thought it was probably more copies of The Shame and the Truth that they didn't sell, that they put out earlier this year, really about almost a year ago, 9 months ago. The other one was really potentially, because it wasn't going to be Toy Matinee probably, because those just got issued. It wasn't going to be Giraffe. That was the hope from a lot of people. It wasn't going to be more Thud. Probably not. The stuff that's come back, like come out in CD since, probably not. So, what was it? The N.R.G. album. The original. These are first pressing. I don't know. This is weird. This is bizarre, but I guess I'm not completely shocked because, whatever. Someone probably had a bunch that they didn't realize and they misplaced. And then they got a hold of them. So, I don't know. The origins of this would be interesting to hear from Bruno. Maybe if they go on do a podcast on You Are Here once this goes for sale or something. The concern I have is the price tag on these. I don't know how many. He says, it says, we have a very limited quantity of sealed N.R.G. LPs that we will be offering for sale. These are not reproductions. These original LPs were manufactured in 1984. Stay tuned for details, including price and availability. So this might be like 20. It might be like 78. I don't know. But given that it's in such limited quantity, these particular items, and they go, like, they're listed on Discogs between $250 and $330. As much as I'd love one of these suckers, I don't know what my odds of being able to find to pick one up. And just being able, like, how they're going to do it. They'll probably do some sort of random drawing, because there's going to be, I don't know how many it's going to be. If it's only like 30 or something, it's going to be definitely, or if they're going to get auctioned, and it's an auction, you're bidding, and that's where I'm probably going to have to check out, unfortunately. Although my friend, Frantic Dav from down in Costa Rica, who's such a big Kevin Gilbert fan as well, told me that since I picked up 2 copies of the new Toy Matinee vinyl, the blue one, if I could sell that to him, maybe that would compensate. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I want to see what more details on this soon. But otherwise, the Dirt Poor Robin stuff, of course, this week. And Kimbra just put out a new song for her new album. New album of Reckoning. The song's called Replay. A Replay, I think it is. Which I like. The video is kind of out there. It's she's kind of going a little more sexual than I'd expect. But, she's maybe somewhat of an exhibitionist to an extent. I don't know. But the song itself, a little bit like 90s music, where I think that my initial reactions is, no, there's a lot of synths, and I have to listen to it more, but I bought the tickets to go see her. I'm still looking forward to the new record in January, A Reckoning. But my wife is sort of checked out. She's not really caring much for any of her new music anymore. So that, and then this is not really a big piece of news, but there was a new podcast with Matt Mahaffey and sElf, and it tells a lot of the story, some interesting origins, the backgrounds, and how much he's really working in doing Hollywood work, from films to television, lots of TV stuff, kids TV stuff. I guess at this point, I don't know how recent this interview was. It was a few weeks ago, maybe. It's called Abandoned Music Podcast. It was on, but it's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. You can look it up if you're a sElf fan. But he talked about how he's finished like 2 songs so far, but he doesn't have any idea when he'll be releasing. He wants to release a full album. That's what he said. But given his schedule, and he's a parent, and he's also got a band called Germs that I want to check out. The Germs, I think is GHERMS. They did an album or a couple songs, just a couple songs that were in the style of, I think it was They Might Be Giants. But I heard a clip on the podcast and I liked it. Naturally, most stuff by Matt Mahaffey I like, anyways. The Germs, songs about They Might Be Giants, yeah, and he's worked with this band called the Deads. It's an all-girl band, kind of obscure, but he produced one of their records, or more than one, I don't know, so that kind of makes me curious on what their music is like. But, if we don't get a new sElf album next year, fine, The fact he is working on an album, and we will eventually get more sElf music, is just encouraging, but in the meantime, I probably should check out the Germs. Maybe I'll do a video about them. Yeah, in 2018 they put out, it's a 2-track, listed as 2 tracks, but it says an album. I don't know. But, yeah, with Leticia Wolf of the Dead. So, yeah, I mean, I love sElf. Of course, he worked with Apes and Androids and stuff like that. But, the guy that makes a living, he doesn't feel pressure anymore to, like, deadlines on how to make music. I wish you could get in touch with Jimmy Necco or Gavin Castleton, some of these people that are there was one other name, Timmy Shawn. There was a couple other names I was thinking that he would be good to work with. Josh Rouse, of course, being from Tennessee, would be another one. Josh Rouse knows him, but because the guy is just fantastic, and I'm really happy that he's able to be successful making music in Hollywood and paying his bills. I mean, the Shrek stuff and everything else. So, but that's kind of an update on that stuff. Still working on. This weekend I may have some time working on the lists, among all lists, and that the songs of the year thing I talked about may shift my plans, unfortunately, depending on how far that goes. But thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I'll see you next time.